Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, first of all, chosen, I want to say that, of course, many of you have great testimonies of overcoming hardship. And most of you by now have found that you're able to easily point out who's for you and who's not, who has your back and who doesn't. You know this by now because your times of hardship was the best verifier of that. It highlighted the energies around you, those people who just wanted to watch you drown or the ones who didn't mind seeing you drown. It highlighted those energies to you very, very clearly to where there's no room for doubt. And there's a reason for that. So many of you was thrown out there. It's like sink or swim, sink or swim. Okay. So you've gone through hardship. You're at your lowest point. Things are just not moving. You're reaching out for help. You're getting no's from most people. And if they do say yes, then there's this ego that comes with it, or this, arrogance that comes with it. And you start to really see the true nature of people at your lowest, chosen. And there's a reason for this. There used to be a time where, and they probably still do it now, where if you want to teach your child how to swim, they say do it while they're young. Do it while they're young, while they're a baby, while they're a toddler. And they used to say, well, take the baby and throw the baby in the water. Not throw it in the water, but just put it out there in the water. And the baby will the natural instinct would be to float, right? And there's a reason for this. Because at that time, when that baby is at its innocence, when it hasn't created any memories that are traumatizing of, drowning or watching someone else drown, at that point, the water is very soothing, it's very comforting, and there's a remembrance of, hey, I just came out of a bag of water, I was just in my mother's womb in water. And so there's comfort here. And so I know how to survive here, right? And so that natural instinct of floating kicks in for that baby at a young age. And so when you're just now coming into your spiritual awakening and you have all of these different things happening and you're drowning in, emotions and just random things that's happening around you, and you just feel like, wow, you put your hand out and you're reaching for someone to come and save you. When those people around you stood there, literally stood there and watched you struggle in that water, that was the best thing that they could have ever done for you. Because a few things happened at that time. One, you got to look them directly in their face while you was in the midst of a storm, while you was feeling like it's either sink or swim and you're afraid and you're not knowing what's going to happen next. You got to look at them and see the expression on their face while you was in your lowest moment. Some of them had grins on their face. Some of them, was shaking their head like, wow, that's just a damn shame that he or she can't even swim. Look at them. Some of them outright laughed about it and was talking about you and calling other people over, recording it on their phones, okay? Because they wanted the world to see just how bad of a situation you was in. You got to see it all from that vantage point of being in a very compromising position. So once you move past the fact that you see that they're not going to help you, you then know, okay, sink or swim. Survival mode kicks in. And you start to come into remembrance that, okay, I'm in this position, but I have the tools to swim. I just got to remember how to swim to come up out of this situation to get back to dry land. So you had to go through a time of remembrance, but it's only after you come out of fear that you then that remembrance of, okay, I can do this. I'm powerful enough to do this. That's when that survival mode kicks in and you start doing what's necessary to get to where you need to be. Because at that point, you've accepted the fact that you have to do this alone. Just yourself, the Most High, and your spiritual team. But a physical vessel, no, nowhere in sight. That was the position, or is currently the position for a lot of the chosen seed, depending on where you are in your timeline. But just know that that is one of the greatest favors that anyone could ever do for you, because moving ahead, you won't be afraid of high water. But at the same time, you won't just put yourself in high water unless you're prepared to swim. And then on top of that, you know who not to look towards if anything comes your way. You know not to look in that direction. But these people did you the greatest favor that they did for you is, once you come out of that chaotic energy and you get to where you need to be, you go from surviving to thriving, because now you have confidence. Now you're in your power. Now you feel stronger because you was able to overcome one of the scariest moments of your life, one of the lowest points of your life. You was able to overcome it without anyone stepping in to pick you up. And it's not that, it does empower you, but it's not that you don't want people to help you. You don't want the wrong people to help you. You see what I'm saying? And the Most High removed those people because a lot of them would have been the wrong people to help you. And what is the wrong person to help you? Let's just say cousin Keisha. She has a decent job and you're in a financial bind and you can't pay your rent next month. You ain't never really had good energy with cousin Keisha, but she's the last one on the list that you can go to, right? You ask cousin Keisha for some money. First of all, she give you a lot of pushback. She asks you 50 million questions. She got an attitude. Then she gives you the money, and now she feels like you owe her your life and everything in it. You owe her your time. You owe her your energy. You owe her your happiness and your peace. She won't live it down that she helped you that one time in your life. So now whenever you get your inheritance that's coming to you, cousin Keisha is going further. She's going to be the first one to have her hand out, but not just for what she gave you, but well over what she gave you, because the wrong person was there to lend a hand at a very low point. So this is why it gets revealed to you at that stage in your life, who's for you and who's not for you. Because when you get to that space where you're thriving and you have that overflow coming through, you've been able to overcome the worst of the worst and things are really looking up, because you're going to get there. You're most definitely going to get there. That's when you're able to look at all of those same people who watched you while you was drowning, who laughed at you, who filmed you, who talked about you, okay, who shook their head at you. And you will be able to easily say no. And it's not because it's all about getting them back. No, it's about protecting your peace. It's about protecting your wealth. It's about protecting your inheritance and what's rightfully yours. Because a lot of times we're too lenient. We're too lenient with people because we say, but that's family. Or, that's the mother of my children or the father of my children, or I've known them for, since I was yay high. You're too lenient with the people who are in your life for the longest. But if a stranger literally walked past you while you was drowning, you're not going to mess with that person. If you see them later on down the line, you're not going to become best friends with them. You're going to be like, wow, you watched me drown. You laughed at me. You're not going to just give them something if they're standing outside saying, hey, I need a handout. No. You're going to set healthy boundaries, understanding who your enemy is and who your true friends are, who your true tribe is. You have a clear distinction of who's for you and who's not for you. And so you don't want to be lenient with the people who have been in your life for the longest just because they've been in your life for a long time. No, when they show you who they are, you believe them. And you give yourself permission to proceed forward with life. and to enjoy the fruits of your labor now that harvest is here. You don't just sit back and say, okay, well, now that I'm where I need to be, regardless of who didn't help me, I'm getting ready to go and just shell out all of my inheritance to everybody just because they're blood or just because I've known them. That would be the most foolish thing that you could do. So when these people watch you drown and you get to eyewitness how they have no concern over, then you're going to be able to say very clearly, no, I'm not sharing my inheritance. No, I'm not going to just open up my door to you. No, because you know that you're welcoming in an energy that is not supportive of your growth. You're welcoming in an energy that never wanted to see you. They didn't even want to see you survive, let alone thrive. If a person won't help you when you're at your lowest point, when they're capable of doing that, they don't want to see you survive, let alone thrive. Okay? So it's very important to draw that line and to protect your energy, protect what the Most High is granting you, protect the clarity that the Most High has given you, protect your energy, and know that all of it happened for your highest good. Everything that's happening and taking place, regardless of where you are on your timeline, is happening for your highest good. The Most High wants you to come out on the other side of that thing thriving and not having to give anyone else the credit except for mother and father and the assistance of the spiritual team that they have surrounded you with. Because if you have a karmic that pulls you out of a tough situation, when you get on the other side of that situation, now that karmic thinks that they are the reason for your advancement in life. They could have paid your rent one time. They could have given you some gas money. They could have bought you groceries 1 month. And all of a sudden, in their mind, they believe that they are the reason for your success. And if you haven't healed, you will then actually believe them and take on that position of feeling like you owe them everything when you actually owe them nothing. And so it's very, very important to, take the wisdom that comes with the experiences, because it's going to help you moving forward to know who to take with you and who to leave behind. There will be no guesswork when it comes to that particular area of your life. And you'll be able to take that harvest and distribute it to those who are truly deserving of sharing your abundance. You might even find that you don't, most of the time, you end up sharing it with people that you don't even know. You'll be more freely giving to people that you do not even know personally than you will be with those who you've known practically all of your life, because they showed you who they were. You find out who a person is when you're at your lowest. When you're at your highest, it's hard to figure out because people they'll wear masks when you've made it, because they want to rub shoulders with you and they want to be able to benefit off of what you have. So they'll hide their true nature. They'll hide their true feelings about you. They'll hide all of these things. Meanwhile, from behind the scenes, they're sending the evil eye, especially if they can't benefit from it. But when you're at your lowest, you'll find out who really gave a damn about you. And that's why the Most High allows us to go through those types of circumstances, because it's all about purging and cleansing and clearing the path of all the wrong energies so that you're on the right frequency to attract the right energies. You got to clear out the stumbling blocks, the naysayers, the people that send the evil eye, the ones that don't want to see you thriving. You have to know who your enemies are. And the only way to know is to find out when you're in survival mode and when you're at your lowest point. So give thanks for all of the different stages that you had to go through before you reach that place of success and abundance. Because it's to protect you, it's to protect your inheritance, and it's to protect your birthright. And you'll know moving down the line, even if let's just say you already cut off cousin Sally. because you notice this characteristic, that characteristics, XYZ in Cousin Sally. It also gives you clarity on that stranger that you might meet down the line. Because if they're a clear reflection of the energy of Cousin Sally, then you know to avoid them too. So it gives you, a baseline. You understand how to move in every area of life because you've already met the wolves. So you recognize a new wolf when it's coming towards you, and you know how to move around that. You don't just welcome just any type of energy into your life because you've already experienced similar energies. So there's a wealth of wisdom that comes with trials, tribulations, and clarity about who's for you and who's not, and having to swim on your own, having to find a way of survival on your own until you get to that place of thriving. You will be so happy that you didn't have those karmics, giving you this, giving you that, giving you this, giving you that, because every last one of them will have their hands out at your door practically every day, waiting for you to give them something, telling them that you owe them for the rest of your life. And it will be a very difficult thing for you to say no to them, because some part of you probably would subconsciously believe that you owed them because you was at your lowest place. So give thanks that you know who your friends are and who your enemies are. That's my message for you all. I love you, and I'll talk to you all next time.